The medical bay of the star-bound refuge smelled of antiseptic and desperation. Dr. Calera, the station's chief xenobiologist, stood outside the observation chamber, wringing her four hands together, a centauri gesture of helplessness. "They're dying," she told Dr. Emma Torres as the humans stepped off the transport shuttle. The matriarch entrusted us with her offspring before she succumbed to the radiation poisoning. But they won't eat. It's been 6 days. Emma pressed her face to the transparent barrier. Inside, 3 juvenile Dracarii huddled together, each the size of a large dog, their scales dulled from malnutrition, their wings folded tight against their bodies. The Dracarii were the galaxy's most fearsome species, apex predators, master strategists, their adult forms capable of breathing plasma hot enough to melt starship hulls. These 3 just looked scared. "What have you tried?" Emma asked. "Everything." Calera's translator captured her frustration perfectly. "We've offered them every protein blend in our database. Live prey, processed nutrients. We've adjusted temperature, lighting, even played recorded calls from adult Dracarii. Nothing works. They just stare at us and refuse." Emma studied the cubs. One lifted its head slightly, golden eyes tracking her movement. Despite 6 days without food, it didn't look aggressive. It looked lonely. "Let me in," Emma said. "Are you insane?" Calera's scales flushed purple with shock. "They're Dracarii. Even juveniles can produce flames hot enough to—" "I know what they can do." Emma was already moving toward the chamber door. "But I also know what grief looks like. They just lost their mother. They're in a strange place, surrounded by aliens who smell wrong and sound wrong. They're not refusing food, doctor. They're refusing to trust." Before Calera could stop her, Emma cycled through the airlock. The cub's head snapped toward her immediately. The largest one, likely male, rose to his feet, dorsal spines raising in warning. A thin wisp of smoke curled from his nostrils. Emma sat down cross-legged on the floor. "Hey there," she said softly, making herself small. "Non triatening. I know you're scared. I know everything feels wrong right now." The cubs watched her, suspicious but curious. Humans were rare in this sector. They'd probably never seen one before. Emma reached into her pack and pulled out a container of raw fish, real earth salmon she'd brought from the station's human quarter. The smell filled the chamber immediately. All 3 cubs' nostrils flared. "I lost my mom, too," Emma continued, opening the container. "I was older than you, but it still hurt. Still does sometimes." She held out a piece of fish. "I know your mom told you not to take food from strangers, but I think, if she knew how hungry you were, she'd make an exception." The largest cub took 1 step forward, then another. His siblings watched, tense. Emma didn't move, didn't push, just held the fish and waited. The cub's tongue flicked out, tasting the air. He came closer, close enough that Emma could feel the heat radiating from his scales. Close enough that 1 snap of his jaws could take off her hand. He took the fish gently from her palm. His siblings rushed forward immediately, and Emma laughed, pulling out more pieces. Within minutes, all 3 were eating from her hands, making small chirping sounds of contentment. The smallest one, a female with iridescent purple scales, climbed into Emma's lap. Outside, Calera watched in stunned silence as the human fed the galaxy's most dangerous predators like they were puppies. "Ow," she whispered in her calms. Inside the chamber, Emma stroked the small female's head. The cub pressed against her, purring, a sound Calera didn't know Dracarii could even make. "Humans understand loss," Emma said softly, knowing Calera could hear her. "And we understand that sometimes survival isn't about food or safety. It's about connection." The largest cub settled beside her, his head resting on her knee. His eyes were already brighter, scales showing hints of their true color. "We're pack animals, doctor. We know what it means to be alone. And we know that sometimes all anyone needs, whether they're human or Dracarii or anything else, is someone who'll sit with them in the dark and remind them they're not forgotten. The cubs fell asleep around her, bellies full for the first time in days. And Emma stayed because that's what humans did. They stayed that read Triclawed can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.